How's it going, guys? And welcome to another episode of the Investment Realtors Podcast. So, right now, I just came across another article I was kind of interested in reading, talking about the Bank of Canada's chart path towards a real estate crash. So, there's been a lot of talk, especially in our industry, with a lot of our clients, and just what does a crash look like, and are we headed to one? So, obviously, in the last couple of years, we all have seen like the sort of free money, so to speak, where banks were just giving away low interest rate mortgages and loans to a lot of buyers because of the pandemic, trying to stimulate the market. So what happened was, is that you saw a lot of people when they have sort of like quote unquote cheap money, so interest rates are low, borrowing is low. They feel like they could spend above their means and buy properties that are probably a little bit more expensive than they otherwise would because their mortgage rates are so low, their monthly payments were low. They felt like it was something achievable, right? The problem is that that market kind of manipulation and mortgage rates and from the Bank of Canada, what it did was it kind of pulled in a lot of buyers into the market that otherwise probably wouldn't have bought with regular kind of average interest rates. And because of that, we all kind of saw what happened. Places had multiple bids, way above asking. You had people going in firm, no conditions, no financing clause, nothing. Just full as much money as they could afford because of the interest rates and just went in kind of just all hands on deck, right? Now, that was good while the rates were low. What happened was inflation hit some crazy numbers and they went higher than we've seen in a long time. So what the Bank of Canada is doing now to kind of curb that inflation is they're raising mortgage rates. Now, what happens with that usually is that as the mortgage rates go up, prices start to level off or go down because less people are able to buy it. So the rates kind of are what's supposed to curb the price of housing, kind of lower the housing market a little bit. The problem, what we're seeing now, and it's kind of been going on even the last couple months, is yeah, rates are going up. Your mortgage like monthly payments are going up too, right? So if you have a variable mortgage rate, your rate definitely went up, which means your monthly payments went up. The problem is we're not really seeing that much inventory on the market. So even though the mortgage rates went up and all the prices for your monthly rates have gone up, the prices of the houses themselves, they haven't really gone down as much as people predicted. And it really comes down to inventory from what we see. If there's not as much competition on the market, there's no real reason for people to have really killed their prices too much, right? So that's kind of what we've seen on this on the market right now. What the Bank of Canada is predicting, they're predicting that there's going to be a crash, right? And nobody really wants a housing market crash, especially if you own a house, because there's too much fallout when there's a housing market crash. People lose their house, people lose their livelihoods. There's a lot of collateral damage on a market crash. So we're hoping that there's not going to be a too big of a crash. We think that once these market rates kind of level off and people kind of start like living and buying within their means, that it'll just be a natural like curving of the projections. So that's kind of where we're seeing right now. Prices aren't too low. They don't seem to be going much lower. Obviously, nobody has a crystal ball, so we don't know exactly what's going to happen in the future. But as of right now, we're still seeing the prices of houses kind of leveling off a little bit. They did go down a bit. I would say most numbers we see is about 20% it went down from the peak. But again, the peak was a little bit ridiculous, where places were selling for way more than they ever should. So it's not all doom and gloom, guys. There's still tons of deals to be had. If you have any questions or you like this content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And ask us any questions you want, any topics you want us to cover. We're always around. So we'll see you guys next time.